trillion naira, all in a bid to attract portfolio investors of 3.7 billion naira in fixed income and 3.6 billion in equities. If you think of it, if they bribed half of the FPI inflows to come into Nigeria in 2017 by offering insane interest rates, for comparison, FDI inflows into Nigeria stood at 928 million naira. $1 million, sorry. So CBN would rather pay the worst form of foreign capital high interest rates and proceed to treat sticky FDI capital with criminal suspicion over historical transactions. High maintenance FPI we pay tribute to high maintenance FPI we pay tribute to, but treat poster boy of Nigerian FDI success like he's a criminal over procedural issues from a decade ago. What message do we think we are sending to other FDI? Seems to be clear. You are not wanted here. Only better buy our debt. You might want to go. His Twitter handle is Wale Smith. Check it up. It's quite interesting commentary. I actually did not read the entire thing, but I just wanted you to get the crux of the discussion he's talking about. What were your thoughts on that?
Well, really, really interesting. Really
because
interesting
especially when you look at the fact that we're doing quite a lot to attract debt in terms of come and buy Omo bonds.
We have to even look at, like I said, nice article. FPI is more short-term, foreign portfolio investments just to bolster the economy. But FDI has a lasting effect.
Multiplier effect, as a matter of fact.
Exactly, on the economy. So we should actually be looking to encourage foreign direct investors more. But with these several allegations from Nigerian agencies on MTN, and also based on market feelers that we've been speaking to on the issue, the foreign investors would be inflow of foreign investors to the economy, foreign direct investments to the economy will be much slower, considering what's happening with MTN. And as Wale Smith rightly said, MTN has been a large contributor to the growth in the non-oil growth in the economy. So we've seen, even this last year, we've seen Mubadala, Etisalat, P&G shut down from Nigeria, and
just basically
P&G shut down their Agbara plants.
I think that
was in June, around June. So we've already been seeing like a slowdown, and this is just going to dampen sentiments more for foreign direct investments.
Especially when you want to look at the fact that, let's not overflog the issue, but in the real sense of it, especially when he says remove their GDP growth and you hold it flat, you realize that our GDP growth would have been at 0.8%. I would think that if you're going to go to the world and you're possibly going to show successes that you've done in the past, and you're trying to attract foreign investors into Nigeria, who best to hold along with you when you're going than that company that has come into your country and has really flourished, and say, oh, ask these guys, they're making money,
Exactly. And I also believe that, now that we're seeing the technical recession in South Africa, it should be the time when we make things easier for foreign direct investors that will be looking to come into Africa, to come into Nigeria as an alternative. And while, these are just allegations, and
of course,
as historical allegations from a whistleblower.
Whistleblowers.
So
their identity must be kept secret.
Of course. So it just begs the question of where our priorities lie with foreign direct inflows to the country.
And I have heard questions. Somebody recently asked a question and said, do you not want them to pay the taxes? And I'm like, I do want them to pay the taxes if they are due the
If they're
taxes.
if they're guilty.
But I am also I'm also open, and I understand the public image
Yeah.
and the public impression this kind of a back-to-back situation creates, even if even in a person-to-person relationship, if there's consistent,
Troubles.
troubles, you
Yeah.
kind of wonder, shouldn't I just leave?
Is this healthy?
Yeah, is
Should
this
I
healthy?
leave?
Should I leave? So all kinds of talk is going in and around, and you want to ask yourself, what do you think, if you were the entity that was going through this, what would you be thinking of doing right now?
Well, MTN did release a statement that they are still fully committed to Nigeria, and they have their IPO slated for May 2019.
If you follow football, you usually know that when they say we are still committed to the coach, he gets fired a few weeks after. Is that not true?
Well, I don't follow football, but that's not good. But I mean, as MTN has said that these are just allegations, I mean, everyone is watching to see what pans out, and we're hoping for the best. But we know that there are a lot of what's the word I can use? There are a lot of underdogs that are, in this MTN scandal with the regulatory bodies, and also you'll wonder why it's the AG that is bringing up all these allegations,
especially
when there's
with
FIRS,
issues,
especially with the $2 billion dollar tax issues, when there is also FIRS. So there are a lot of questions to
I
be
think
asked.
I think of course the AGF could raise if he was one that spotted it, but obviously I would have expected that his direction would have been FIRS sorts this out, as against being the one to prosecute it himself.
Yeah, and also the IPO itself, it came about when
there was based on the NCC issue.
Exactly, when we also had issues in, was it 2015, about the unregistered SIMs, and then they were fined, which they were able to price down to $1 billion, and were mandated to list on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. So if you look at it, they've been having like some regulatory issues in the past, but it's just coming as a surprise that the government is not doing a bit more. Not saying that they should overlook if there are any, guilty. They're not saying that they should overlook any misconduct, right? But they should also handle this with
a bit more tact.
Exactly.
And I totally agree, because that for me is the real crux of the issue.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, we've seen in the US where JP Morgan and the rest, go through all sorts of issues. But you do realize that in as much as the American government is coming with the hammer, they realize that we can't just smash these guys. We can't just
smash.
Exactly. Yeah, so as they proverbially say, you whip with the right hand, left hand, and you draw back with the right hand. It is, especially because this has been the single biggest non-oil investment in the last 20, 30 years or so. It's been the largest non-oil company around for a while. So you want to think, are we probably thinking this true?
Or you want to think, who is behind all this?
Yeah, that suspicion always comes up.
Especially when it's Nigeria. Exactly.
When it's Nigeria, you just think, the powers that be are behind it. I probably got maybe I'm not even joking, maybe 5 DMs yesterday asking, but who is behind this thing? I'm like, I don't think there's anybody. I want to.
You want to believe?
I want to believe it's just coincidence. I want to believe it's just coincidence, and it's happened. And that's why for me, I'm obviously saying it from the perspective of, do we see what impression it's creating?
Yeah, definitely negative.
Yeah, so I don't want to believe that it's something deliberate. I believe it's a coincidence, but in being a coincidence, we must also be able to say, we're painting a wrong impression of what we're trying to do here. Maybe we should handle this thing a little differently, and make it very clear that while we're, still trying to make sure that rules are followed, we're not against foreign direct investment.
Yeah, and we've even already started seeing the negative impact on,
share price,
with foreign investors calling their, according to the feelers in the
exactly.
industry, foreign investors
We're going to be touching that too
calling
later.
their banks saying that, okay, am I
Hold on,
meeting
that-
all the
yeah.
all the
No, yeah.
requirements? Am I doing this? I mean, it's a good thing that, you know, foreign investors are being more careful with following the regulations, but they would also be more cautious because they wouldn't want to come into a country where they're slammed with
Any fine,
with
and
any
then
fines,
their
and then
their
their
parent
businesses-
company is in trouble because of
exactly.
it.
And we've seen MTN
Share price.
slump over 25% since all these allegations came up.
We're going to be touching some of that on the other side. Do stay with us. We're going into the headlines when we come back after this short break. City of Lagos, do let us know your thoughts. Tweet at us at Nigeria Info FM Twitter handle and let us know what your thoughts are about this entire debacle. The Nigeria, MTN, CBN, even maybe NCC. Let's know what your thoughts are. Do stay with us on the Money, Business and Economy show right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.